it's almost like the compliance industrial complex that the government creates. This actually begins to tame it, and that's the way I really feel about it. It does, have that effect of taming what is really a beast.
I would say we did have things in place. We did have policies in place. We had workflows. We had procedures, but we were doing the minimum required, just enough to get us by. And eventually, that was going to fail us because it needed to be better than it was.
It's a massive problem to be solved by an organization, so it's never really a situation where you're talking about less resources. It's usually a situation where you're talking about more. We were definitely searching for something, and this kind of came out of the blue for us. I was first exposed to it from Bankview and went down there, and we were having some issues with trying to keep up with the regulations, trying to come up with some sort of way to, control the beast a little bit. And kind of got that pitch from them and really felt like it would be sort of the one-stop shop that we needed. And when we started it, it really sort of met everything that we felt like it would. So it was kind of as advertised. It was that one platform where we could sort of rein in all those disparate issues that we have to try to get our arms around, and it was perfect.
Initially, I thought it appeared to be just a really great way to organize all of your compliance stuff, all of your policies and procedures, because I manage all of our audits and all of our exams through NCA or everything else. So to me, it was like really cool. I was going to be able to organize everything. Everything would be in one spot, all the updated versions. Everybody could go do their risk assessments, things like that. But it was very superficial to me on the surface. I was like, oh, it's great, but do we really need that? But as I started using it, I have a very different viewpoint of it.
It certainly changed my day-to-day in terms of compliance. You used to spend a lot of time reading regs, trying to understand regs. That part is kind of off the table, thank God, because that stuff can really drive you crazy.
So continuity control has been really good in keeping me on track and, really making sure I understand what's coming, making sure that I have all the information.
It does have a comprehensive view of, hey, here's what's coming down the pike, whether it's an advisory or whether it's a final rule. Here's what it means to your organization or not. Here's some action steps that you ought to be thinking of, and tell us why. And it kind of walks you through every little bit of that.
The amount of stuff that I don't have to do now is incredible.
The workflows can't really be understated here. It's literally a pathway that is set, and the standards are all there for you with the guideposts. And it's hard to even figure how we would approach that otherwise. It would be literally a blank screen.
Being a small organization, we don't have one person or two people that are just dedicated to the compliance world. We kind of slowly got our feet wet with this.
We did one thing at a time. And when we finished that, we went on to the next thing. So it was a very successful way to implement.
You don't have the time not to do it, number one. But yes, it does require effort, there's no question. But I would say that they have been basically at our pace. They allow us to drive the bus. They'll help us, and then they will pull us when they think they're getting behind. I mean, it's not just about, selling us something and then not making sure we're using it properly.
Make sure you're doing what's behind door number one appropriately. Make sure you feel comfortable with it. And then you can move on to the other doors that are available within the platform. I would not go back to how we were doing things. It was stressful. This has given us a lot more peace of mind. I mean, even some of the things that I thought we were doing well, in retrospect, when you kind of take a look at those areas now that we're on the platform, there was definitely things that we needed to fine-tune, and this pointed that out.
When an auditor comes in, or NCUA comes in, we're going to have a central location to go to say, here, this is what we did. Instead of having it in paper form, instead of having, oh, I'm working on that, they're going to know exactly where we stand with something.
This is an excellent tool that we can all use to kind of keep our head above water, so to speak, and allow us to continue doing things smarter and more efficiently.
You can't really put a price on the risk associated with not getting it right. And I feel confident that continuity control gets it right.
This is nothing fancy here. I mean, but one of the basic things that we're trying to do is get our arms around, going way back, the efficiency of the organization, how we deliver products, what are we doing in terms of the value proposition of pretty much everything we do. And so continuity fits perfectly into that strategy because it is the value proposition that we've done on every other element of our business.